Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of November 21st, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. Regional combat updates. West Group of Forces improved tactical positions in the Ksk Region and Donetsk People's Republic, repelling 5 counterattacks and inflicting heavy casualties and equipment losses on Ukrainian forces, including the destruction of American and Soviet-era artillery systems.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast. Insights into the special military operation. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an experienced infantry officer, who will provide us with the latest updates on the operation as of November 21st, 2024. Colonel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm here to provide a comprehensive update on our progress.
Let's start with the big picture. What is the overarching focus of the operation at this stage?
The operation continues to target Ukrainian military formations and infrastructure. Our forces are advancing on multiple fronts, improving tactical positions, repelling counterattacks, and neutralizing enemy assets to undermine their operational capacity.
Let's dive into the regional updates. Starting with the Kharkiv region, what can you share?
In the Kharkiv region, our North Group of Forces successfully defeated formations of the 116th Territorial Defense Brigade and the 5th Border Detachment of Ukraine in the settlements of Lebedivka and Kazakya Lopan. We also repelled a counterattack by the 92nd Assault Brigade. Ukrainian losses included 145 servicemen, 2 tanks, and 11 armored combat vehicles.
Shifting to the West Group of Forces, what developments have occurred there?
The West Group improved its tactical positions in areas such as Kupiansk and Krasny Lyman, targeting several Ukrainian brigades. We repelled 5 counterattacks, inflicting losses of 480 Ukrainian servicemen, various armored vehicles, and artillery systems, including U.S.-made 155mm howitzers. Additionally, we destroyed 2 electronic warfare stations and 4 ammunition depots.
Let's talk about the Southern Group of Forces. What developments have occurred there?
In the southern region, our forces liberated the settlement of Dalny in the Donetsk People's Republic. Ukrainian losses totaled 380 servicemen, along with key assets like a British-made Braveheart artillery unit and multiple U.S.-made M119 howitzers. We also destroyed a Bukovel AD electronic warfare station and a field ammunition depot. Last night, Russian troops carried out another attack on Ukrainian territory. The most important was the strike on the Yezmash industrial enterprise in Dnipropetrovsk, during which an intercontinental ballistic missile. There are some indications that an ICBM could indeed have been used for this purpose, which is the first successful combat use of this type of weapon in the history of military conflicts. The warheads were non-nuclear. Although there are talks on the internet about the RS-26 Rubesh, the type of missile is not reliably known. Ukrainian forces were unable to shoot down the ICBM, as evidenced by the footage of the landings.
The Center Group of Forces appears to have made territorial gains. What can you tell us?
The Center Group continued advancing into enemy defenses, defeating brigades such as the 100th Mechanized and 425th Airborne Assault Brigades in settlements like Grodovka and Sukhoi Yar. We repelled 11 counterattacks and inflicted losses of over 385 Ukrainian servicemen, along with multiple armored vehicles and artillery pieces. As a result of the successful attack, the entire forest area and the Kuligovo railway station came under the control of the Russian armed forces, which was subsequently used by Russian attack aircraft to advance towards Kupiansk. After the station's territory was liberated, the Russian armed forces began an offensive along the railway line, taking advantage of the elevation changes and disorganization of the enemy. Soon, the advanced armored groups entered the northeastern outskirts of Kupiansk and consolidated their positions in the private sector.
And the East Group of Forces?
The East Group secured more advantageous positions while targeting brigades like the 33rd Mechanized Brigade and the 130th Territorial Defense Brigade. we repelled a counterattack by the 36th Marine Brigade, resulting in 145 Ukrainian casualties and the destruction of a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier and a 152mm Akatsiya self-propelled artillery unit. Fighting is underway on the outskirts of Glushkovka. Earlier, the Russian armed forces managed to dislodge the Ukrainian armed forces from the territory of the Kolesnikovka station in the forest area and advance north, reaching the outskirts of the village both along the left bank of the Oskol and east of Kolesnikovka. Success in this area will allow Russian troops to form a southern pincer encircling the Ukrainian armed forces units in the Petropavlovka-Novosinovo area, aimed at reaching Kupianska-Zlovaya, which is regularly subjected to air raids by the Russian aerospace forces.
Finally, what updates can you provide on the DNPR group of forces?
The Dnipro Group inflicted losses on Ukrainian formations in the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions. Ukrainian losses included 85 servicemen and several vehicles. Additionally, we destroyed a Plastin electronic intelligence station and a warehouse of military technical equipment. A very significant advance towards Razdolnoye has been noted from Yasnaya Polyana and Shakhtiorskoye. Several forest belts and strongholds have come under the control of Russian troops. In fact, units of the 40th Separate Marine Brigade and the 5th Tank Brigade have now managed to reach the outskirts of Razdolnoye, and the 139th Separate Battalion has bypassed the settlement from the north from the Nalovac and Shulika gullies, practically reaching the T-05-18 highway. Some of the strongholds to the southeast were taken without any particular problems, while in some, Ukrainian formations are desperately resisting.
Let's talk about the broader strategic picture. How are air and artillery strikes contributing to the operation?
Air and artillery strikes remain crucial. Over the past day, we targeted 142 areas, focusing on enemy concentrations, military airfields, and energy facilities supporting Ukraine's military-industrial complex. These actions significantly degrade the enemy's operational capacity.
Air defense systems seem to be another critical component. How effective have they been?
Our air defense systems intercepted 2 UK-made Storm Shadow cruise missiles, 6 US-made HIMARS rockets, and 67 unmanned aerial vehicles. This demonstrates our capability to neutralize advanced Western systems and safeguard key positions. In terms of the use of aircraft-type UAVs on Russian territory, last night was relatively quiet. Air defense systems on duty intercepted only 2 drones launched by the enemy. The drones were shot down over the Rostov and Volgograd regions. No casualties were reported.
Let's shift to the Ksk Region. What are the latest developments there?
In the Ksk Region, our forces successfully defeated units from the 82nd Airborne Assault Brigade and the 36th Marine Brigade, among others, across several settlements. Over the past 24 hours, we inflicted over 150 casualties on Ukrainian forces, destroyed advanced equipment, and completed the elimination of a Ukrainian group that was blocked in the Algovskaya Grove area. The units of the North Group of Forces also caused losses to the formations of the 41st, 47th, and 115th Mechanized Brigades, as well as the 5th and 17th Tank Brigades, near the settlements of Alexandria, Viktorovka, Derino, Lebedevka, Leonidovka, Malaya Lokhnya, Nikolsky, Novoivanovka, and Sverdlikovo.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. Israeli attacks on Gaza have resulted in the deaths of at least 88 people, including children who were sleeping. Dozens are reported to have been killed in strikes on northern Gaza. Food prices in Gaza are soaring after nearly 100 aid trucks were looted, exacerbating shortages. According to Palestinian officials, the death toll in Gaza from the ongoing Israel-Hamas war has surpassed 44,000. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have lost their lives, leaving Gaza in ruins and igniting a regional conflict that has engulfed the Middle East. The International Criminal Court, ICC, has issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and other officials for alleged war crimes in Gaza.